we might finally be getting the highly anticipated mega showdown fight between Gervonta Tank Davis, the self-proclaimed face of boxing, and Teofimo, the takeover Lopez. This fight has been marinating for a very long time. Now, nothing is official, but there is a lot of evidence for this. Let's start with Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach yesterday posted that he's gonna let the cat out the bag. And he said Teofimo Lopez is just waiting for the rematch between Lamont Roach and Tank Davis to face the winner. And not just that, Lamont Roach stated that he's gonna beat Tank Davis and it's gonna be Teofimo versus Lamont Roach. So that's the first evidence. The second evidence is Teofimo Lopez. Today he put a cryptic message. On Instagram, he posted the date that Gervonta Tank Davis is fighting, which is 8/16 of this year, 2025. And he was also wearing a PBC hat. And who fights for the PBC? Gervonta Tank Davis, the self-proclaimed face of boxing. So a lot of people were saying, why was Teofimo Lopez ducking Devin Haney? But who in the world will ever duck Devin Haney? I'm down to fight Devin Haney. There are only two fighters that I'm willing to fight, Devin Haney and El Gallo de Dorado, Jake El Gallo Paul. Timothy Bradley said that he's gonna come out of retirement to face Devin Haney because there is no way anybody would be scared of Devin Haney. I'm not scared of Devin Haney, I'm being real. But everybody knows that that was not Gervonta Tank Davis, the one that fought Lamont Roach. I actually have Tank Davis beating Lamont Roach in the rematch. This rematch will answer a lot of questions. Where is Tank Davis at? Because the first fight between Lamont Roach and Tank Davis, it was very close. But as soon as Tank Davis took that knee, after that he stepped it up and it seemed that Lamont Roach was very uncomfortable. And yes, the fight was very close and it seemed that they both had each other's number. But they were both fighting at a very slow pace. And it seems that when they were only fighting at a very slow pace, that's when Lamont Roach was only able to keep up. But as soon as Tank Davis took that knee, he stepped it up and then the separation of skill showed. But the question is, can Tank Davis keep up that level of intensity? But even if he does, the more you throw, the more windows are open for your opponent to counterpunch, and Lamont Roach is a pretty good counterpuncher. But as of right now, Lamont Roach took the aura of invincibility of Gervonta Tank Davis. And I believe the only way that Tank Davis can get it back is if he actually destroys, embarrasses, and or knocks out Lamont Roach. But if it's another close competitive fight, the aura of invincibility of Gervonta Tank Davis will still be gone. But even then, if it's still close and competitive, people are still gonna say that styles make fights and Lamont Roach style is terrible for Gervonta Tank Davis, and also because they were sparring partners before. And also they both fought in the amateurs twice, and Gervonta Tank Davis beat Lamont Roach twice, even though it was split decisions. Now a draw is a draw, that's as close as it can get, but a split decision is also a competitive fight that's very close, but one of them just edged it out. Yeah, so Tank Davis and Lamont Roach fights were very close, so Lamont Roach already knew what he was getting himself into when he signed up to fight Tank Davis. But I know recently there's been a lot of fighters that fought their sparring partners or amateur opponents and they still lost against them, even though they beat them in the amateurs. But there is a big difference from going from 16-ounce gloves to 8-ounce gloves and no headgear. But I really don't care who wins, Tank Davis or Lamont Roach. Whoever wins should face Teofimo Lopez next. But the thing is, Gervonta Tank Davis is not a big 135 pounder. And Lamont Roach just moved from 130 to 135 to fight Tank Davis. So that was his first fight at 135. And do you guys remember when Teofimo Lopez fought Cambosis? He almost died. If Teofimo Lopez couldn't make the weight back then, what makes you think he could make it now? So if Teofimo Lopez fights Tank Davis at 135, I'm pretty sure that Tank Davis will beat Teo. But the good thing is, Teofimo Lopez is not a big 140 pounder either. He just came from 135 also. I do hope they fight at 140, but if not, at least a catch weight, 137 or 138. I think we're gonna have a way more entertaining fight at 140 than at 135. You're gonna have a weekend Teofimo Lopez at 135. I think that is one of the fights to make. Teofimo Lopez versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Devin Haney already blew it. Who wants to see Devin Haney against Teo or Devin Haney against Tank? That fight's gonna suck. But remember this, I ain't the biggest, I'm the baddest. And if you wanna help out your boy, throw a dollar at the super thanks. That's all, folks.
I shook up the world! I shook up the world! I shook up the world!